On this video, we are going to take a look at the 5 apps that I use for creativity in 2026. Now, if you were around last year when I did this list, you're going to notice that 3 out of the 5 have completely changed. And that kind of amazed me when I saw that list, the fact that 3 of them in 1 year have totally been replaced. So I hope you guys enjoy this list. We're going to jump straight into it. Now, number 1 on the list last year was OneNote by Microsoft. I use it as my big notebook, all this kind of stuff. I have since then replaced it with Zoho Notebook. And if you don't know anything about Zoho, what they did is around 2007, they created an online office suite, and it's kind of in comparison to Google's Office right now, where everything's online, sheets and documents and all that stuff. But I'm using specifically the notebook for Zoho Notes, and I like it because it is a very simple web forward and app on the phone. That's what you'll see with a lot of the apps that I'm going to mention today are both on a mobile and on a desktop. You can use either way, but it creates a notebook, a digital notebook that I can keep ideas in. You can do multiple notebooks, multiple sections and subsections and pages, and it's searchable and all that kind of stuff. And that's why I kind of use those all the time. But I've been wanting for the longest time to get away from OneNote. I felt it was heavy on programs. I wasn't happy with a lot of the stuff. I found there are times where it didn't match up. And since then, like I said, I have searched and recently found Zoho Notebook and gave it a try and really fell for it. I really like it. So last year was OneNote. This year is Zoho Notebook, first on my list for creative apps for 2026. Now, the next one was on the list last year and is back on the list this year. It is CapCut. It is my video editor of choice. I absolutely love it. I use it all the time. Short videos, long videos, everything is done with CapCut. I love how that it's constantly updated. You have all kinds of things that you can use with it, special effects, all kinds of stuff, and I really like it. So that makes, perfect sense why CapCut was there last year and it is staying this year. Now, third on the list is one that was replaced. So last year I was using Adobe Express for all of my flyers and lettering or anything that I did digital like that, fixing pictures and flyers and cards and thumbnails and everything. But Adobe Express has been replaced by Canva. 100% Canva. Last fall, they did an update on Canva and also added Affinity to Canva. So if you have a Canva subscription, you get all the AI stuff over on Affinity. Even though Affinity's free, you don't get the AI stuff unless you have a subscription. So now all of that is part of the Canva subscription, and it does everything you can imagine. They even have a multi-channel video editor there. If it gets a little bit better, I might replace CapCut with it. I don't know. But Canva has all of that, and it has kind of even started to become my photo editor. I really like it for doing certain things with photo editing. And it may replace the next thing on the list. It may or may not. But Canva, if you get a chance to try Canva, that's what sold it for me. Last fall, they did this big update. So if you haven't used it since before last fall, that's fall of 2025, try it. It's something new. And if you get a chance to try it for like a week or a month, well, I got to try it for a month. I absolutely fell in love with it. So Canva is now my go-to. Next on the list is the one that I said might be replaced. It wasn't on the list last year, and I don't seem to understand why it wasn't on the list. It should have been on the list, and that's Lightroom. I used it last year. I used it a lot, but for some reason it didn't make the list. So this year it's on the list. Like I said, I use it a lot. The one I have is the Lightroom photo and video editor. It is a mobile. So when you get that subscription, you get it for the mobile phone and you get it for desktop. It is not a separate program. You're going to get it in a browser. And that's good enough for what I do with it. For a lot of people where they're doing, a bunch of photos and using it as their giant contact sheet for their photos. That's not what I use it for. I use it for just editing simple one-off things. And it should have been on there last year because I use it, and it's on there this year. But with the way Canva's going, it may not make next year's list. And the final thing on my list was there last year, but I made a small adjustment to it. So last year, Google Gemini Live was on my list of creative apps because I use it as a sounding board in my studio. And I use it for working on things and ideas and whatnot. I use the live version where I'm talking back and forth to it. But I've also started to use ChatGPT Live where I'm talking to it live, the live voice, not just typing in. And both of those have become a big part of my creative process. So when I am working on like a description for a YouTube video, I'm using ChatGPT and I'm talking to it about, keywords, searchable words, all that kind of stuff, because that's kind of important to when you're doing YouTube videos to have those kind of things. and I use it to help me find some of those or good hashtags and other things, like I said, just bouncing ideas off of, and it helps a lot. Like I said, if you have someone in your life you're able to bounce ideas off of for a creative person, that you know how valuable that is. But I don't here in my studio, so I have replaced it with two live chats. And it, like I said, for that, it has made a big difference in my creativity. And that's why it's on and added to from last year. So there's my list. If you guys have any apps or programs that you use that you find are essential to your creative process, please leave them down in the comments down below, because I really like to learn about new programs and try stuff. I'm always trying stuff out. So please leave them down there. And again, I hope that all of these helped you, and I hope it inspires you to give stuff a try, even just try something new. You might like it. But these are the 5 apps that I use for creativity in 2026, and I hope that helped. Until next time, take care and God bless.
This video is sponsored by immj. For all my print-on-demand creations like t-shirts, mugs, posters, original photos, my book, The Creative Virus, or what gear I use, visit the shops on immj.com or my Amazon, eBay, or Etsy stores.